Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Skill Building 201, and we're on our third workshop. It's dealing with difficult people, and we're on part 3, and I'm Diane. We are looking at different skills. What I want to do is provide you again with a tote bag of skills that you can use and draw one out as the occasion warrants, and ones that you might like to try out and that might work. And I know that you know a lot of these, but I'm just hoping you learned something new. And these are for the workplace, for home, for out in the community anytime. Okay, we are doing basic skills. I'm making 3 categories. Basic skills, shutting it down and opening it up. And we're on basic skills, and we're down to sympathize, empathize. Feel their pain. Reflect back their pain to you, to them, and sympathize with it, and even if you can, empathize with it. I'm so sorry this has happened to you. If you just say, I'm so sorry, sometimes they say, well, it's not your fault. And that's not what you're trying to convey. The whole message they're trying to convey is, I'm so sorry this has happened to you. I'm so sorry that you've had this problem. What I really like is when I call with an issue with a product or something from my catalog or whatever, and I get somebody from India or Indonesia, they are taught to listen to me, hear me out, and then, no matter how long it takes, and then summarize back to me the problem, and then they say, I'm so sorry this has happened to you, ma'am. Let me see if I can help you. That is, I need that. And I think to myself how well these people have been trained. American customer service people could be trained a little better often. This is wonderful because I get the feeling that they care. Of course, it's hard to care every day about all the different calls that come in if you're customer service. I know that. But still, I feel that they do, and I know that they get it. So, and if I don't get that piece, and let's say an American customer service person then starts out by, let's examine how we can solve your problem, but I don't get that, I'm so sorry this has happened to you because of the company I work for. If I don't get that piece, it's a little hard for me to go on and get 100% into what kind of problem solving they're doing for me, because I need that piece. That might not be everybody, but that's me. Okay. In your personal life, I wanted to say, you're probably not going to help solve their problem, but in the personal life, I say to my friends all the time, I'm so sorry this is happening to you. Is there anything I can do to help? Those words are golden. They really are. Okay, try not to judge. This is a huge topic. You have to remember so many things. Think with compassion what could be going on with this person. People are often not the way they present at very first. I used to teach junior high, and I learned quickly not to make assumptions about the child until I got to know him or her better, because they often, more than often, turned out to be totally different from their first impression. We often don't know how we appear to others, how we're presenting to others, and we often don't know how we're acting too. A wonderful example of this was years ago, probably decades ago. I was watching Bachelorette in a group home where I was working, and we all were watching Bachelorette. And it was a young woman choosing from 25 men, and there was one young man who was kind of a slight build, and he had curly black hair, and he was very petulant. He was always just kind of whining about. And we often wondered, among ourselves, why was she keeping him? And after everything was over and she made her choice, he lasted about 5 weeks. And after it was over, they got everybody together and they went around and they asked impressions of what all had gone on. And this young man stood up. I swear he was a foot taller. He had cut his hair, and he said, "I was humiliated by the way that I acted. I don't know why she kept me around as long as she did. I have really learned a lesson, and I hope to say I've grown up." And he had grown up just from seeing himself on video. And I know that I've had times that if I could see myself on a video at that particular bad time, I would be humiliated, and it would change me. And I've seen a relative of ours, they took a video of her during her 50-year wedding anniversary party, and she said later, "I sure talk a lot." And we often don't know how we look, how we're acting, how we're appearing until we see a video of ourselves. So that young man, deep in that young man on Bachelorette, he was a very different person than how he appeared, and he changed also. Keep an open mind and try not to leap to judgment. Because I could have been ruled by my emotions, I learned early on, I have worked since teenage years on to develop my critical thinking. Edward de Bono is my favorite man who deals with lateral thinking and rational thinking. And he has an exercise he does with groups where he puts on the board some kind of silly, controversial question, like, should all cars be painted yellow? And so he has the group work on the pros for that, why that's a good idea. And they write and they write and they write until everybody is all finished with all the pros of that. And then take a breath. He starts cons, those against it. What are the bad ideas of it? And he writes and he writes and then waits until everybody's done and they all take a breath and move around. And then he does interesting. And the point of all of this is work on interesting. Think on interesting. You see somebody, you see a situation, you start to judge. Think interesting. Don't leap to judgment. And he says your brains are actually different in each of these 3 exercises. Your brain puts out different chemicals. Your body puts out different chemicals into your cells when you're doing each of these different experiences. So try to work on just interesting and reserve your judgment. Don't jump to judgment. That is, you'll live a much happier and more fulfilled and less negative life if you concentrate on interesting. Okay? Be very honest and clear. When you are confronted with a difficult person, whether it's at work or at home or whatever, be very honest and clear with them about what you can do, what you cannot do, it's beyond your parameters, where your boundaries are, and then how you can help. Be honest and clear, and use iMessages. And if you need to, let's say that decades ago, my first really good camera, I needed to take it back because it didn't work right. And so I took it back to the store, and they weren't going to give me my money back or take the camera. And I kept saying, I need to return the camera because it's defective and get a full refund. Then they would give me different answers, different justifications why they couldn't, different defensive, different this and that, and I just kept saying, I need to return the camera because it's defective and I need a full refund. And finally, I got it. And I didn't get angry. I didn't start elevating. I didn't get worked up. I just kept repeating it in the same calm voice, the broken record. And if you can't get the results that you need, then you can take it elsewhere. You can get on social media, you can go to the Better Business Bureau, you can go to the Attorney General of your state. And you don't have to tell everybody everything, but when you do choose to share something with someone, let it be the truth. I don't know why people make things up, why they lie, but they do. And stick to the truth. In 98% of the time, let's say, okay, including the workplace, maybe you work for the military or something, let's say 95% of the truth. Say the truth and make it be in the correct spirit of the truth, is my recommendation. Ask for help from a supervisor or somebody whose department that happens to be. You can say to your difficult person who's presenting, I want to help you and I need help to help you. I appreciate when somebody does this, when they go to the trouble to try to find somebody who can really address my problem. And you may need to take their number and call back, and have somebody call back, and then make sure it happens. And the last one is stay strong. And I won't talk much about that because that was my whole second workshop. If you need some help with that, you can go to my workshop. One thing I did want to add, in it we talked about meditation, and I just want to read you something. Buddha was asked, what have you gained by meditation? He replied, nothing. However, let me tell you about what I have lost. Anger, anxiety, depression, insecurity, fear of old age, and death. So, have a life. Have a complete life. Okay, thank you. Next time we're going to start with the skills around shutting it down.